Good day all. So the topic of today is the role of the mainstream education system and keeping you perpetually dumb. The role of the mainstream education system and keeping you perpetually dumb, right? Or enslaved in a state of slavery. Um, so there's a reason I would have exited or left my Catholic primary school. There's a reason I would have exited or left my Catholic primary school, right? And that is because I do not worship Mary. I do not worship Jesus, right? I do not worship these people, whoever they are messengers or whatever their role they came to do in this life. I do not worship anybody. I do not worship you, right? I serve no force other than that which is truth, whatever that truth is that I might be led to, right? Or discover on my spiritual journey. I serve the force of truth, whatever that truth might be, right? Whether or not Mary exists, whether or not there's immaculate conception, right? Whatever the truth is, but I do not worship Mary itself, Jesus itself, right? And the only reason I've been singing Krishna songs is because I know that Sanskrit syllables can shift the collective frequency, and that is what I was called here originally to do, right? So I do not worship Mary, I do not worship Jesus, I do not worship Krishna, I do not worship any of these prophets, right? The reason why I exited my secondary school system, right? And how education keeps us in a perpetual state of enslavement, how mainstream education keeps me and you in a perpetual state of enslavement, right? Let me just use my secondary school. I went to Ashton, right? Now, I would have graduated to A levels in that same school, right? I made one of my great friends came from Ashton. I appreciated it. Well, when I reached in upper six, right? In upper six, the principal of Ashtra would have encouraged me to repeat a subject that I just get a 2 instead of a 1. I got a 2 instead of a 1, right? Repeating this subject and this repetition of a subject, you know what institutions do? They want to make themselves look good. They want to make themselves look good. Institutions are self. So it's not necessarily people are evil, you know. People aren't evil, but people are turned evil by virtue of what the institutions itself require them to do, right? People are turned evil because of what institutions require people to do. For example, a school wants to look good. A school wants to portray to the world, hey, I could get 20 scholarships. Hey, I could make my children get 25 scholarships, right? That instead of focusing, hey, child, what do you want to do with your life? What direction do you want to take, right? What are the skills, the expertise that you have, right? So I realize you all want to come into my life and tell me that I fail as a teacher, as all great performance, as all great that's what happened to me recently. You all came into my life and tell me that all great performers fail as teachers, and that's why I fail as a teacher, right? I want you to come online and do the job that I am doing now. You come online and do the job that I am doing right now. Teach the natural laws of the universe instead of bawling, oh, rah, 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 burn down the government this, burn down the government that, burn down the church, burn down this, right? Instead of saying to burn down everything, come online and teach the things that I am teaching and see how good or bad of a teacher you will be, right? Come online and teach the natural laws of the universe, right? And examine for yourself and go through the same spiritual attacks, right? I don't wish this on anybody, right? I don't wish this on anybody, right? What I have gone through to reach right here within the past year and a half to reach where I am right now, right? Because as far as I see the people who sending me these things about, oh, all great, you feel as a teacher, all great, as all great performers do, right? Well, who say I am auditioning to be part of your mainstream education system, right? I applied to your mainstream education system and I was rejected. Right? So it is time I reject you all now, right? I reject the mainstream education system. 8 years I have been waiting and I was rejected by the mainstream education system, right? Astra was the only place who wanted me, right? And I show how they say I carrying on here now. Nobody do mainstream and board schools don't want nothing to have to do with me, right? Because I have come here to speak the truth, right? So mainstream and regular institutions wouldn't want anything to happen to me, but I don't care, right? I don't care, right? So the reason I would have exited secondary school, Astra, and all board systems, right? The reason I would have exited the board school system is because you all really, just like everybody else, want to turn me into something that you are. You all would have wanted to turn me into something that you are. And secondly, you all want to make the organizations look good instead of teaching the truth, right? You all want the organizations to look good, right? And I'm not on that, right? But Astra was the only place that really wanted me, right? Astra was the only place that wanted me, right? But that's okay. But just imagine how it is like. Just imagine how it is like to be a principal. Just imagine how it is like to be a principal in a school or a board school, right? And you seeing potential in someone academically, encouraging that person to be the best that they could be, encouraging that person to be the best like they could be, like the principal of Asha would have done for me, right? And then have to come and see that that student in their true potential, have the capacity to relay information to the rest of the world, right? And have to witness that student be rejected for 8 years by the Ministry of Education, right? It is enough to make anybody cuss, right? It is enough to make anybody cuss, and that's why I don't care how I come here and carry on. That is why I do not care how I come here and carry on, regardless of how anybody think or what anybody think of me, or how good or bad anybody think I am as a teacher, right? Because I am sure 95% of you all are unwilling to and are unable to go through the kind of things that I am willing to go through, right? For the sake of not defending me or you, but defending all of humanity, right? Why did I exit the University of the West Indies? I've been given reasons all along. Why I have exited the University of the West Indies, right? Why I've been exited the University of the West Indies and sociology. And I will give one more reason today, is because you are still on this scene where, oh, one group is being victimized, next group is perpetrator, one group is being victimized, next group is perpetrator, right? And I done with that scene, boy. Like me and people all over the world, both me and all people over the world, kind of had it up to our throats, with a system of, imagine in this day and age where we have wealthy African teachers in the mainstream system, right? Still teaching that the white man is the problem, right? That is problematic. That is the problem, right? You can't have wealthy African people in the system teaching that, oh, the white man is the problem, when you are the one who are supposed to be responsible for uplifting, if you want to call it your people, right? So these are the reasons that, and people are on this systematic racism, right? Whilst I acknowledge that there is racism, there is actually racism against all groups. There is actually racism against all groups in the society. And that is why very few people could actually come here, stand up and do what I am doing here. Very few people could actually come here, stand up and do what I am doing here, right? And that is why I would have exited the mainstream education system and teaching my own teachings here, right? Regardless of what you think about it, regardless of how you think about it, right? And every little thing, somebody could be having a bad day, somebody could be going through whatever. Everything in this country this had a boil down to race and politics. Race and politics. Oh, this person racist. Oh, that person racist. Even the tarot cards on this chosen group, this YouTube thing, right? Even the tarot cards, sometimes I just be listening to you. Oh, this person racist. That person racist. I'm not on that boy, right? I am not. If I was racist, do you think I would have been willing? Not even willing. I would have been, because if I had a choice, really, I would choose not to go through that experience. But do you all think I would have gone through what I gone through? Not to defend myself, not to defend you, but to stand up for everybody, boy. Because teaching natural law is standing up for everybody. Teaching the alignment with natural law is, in fact, standing up for everybody, right? Because it is wanting the advancement of freedom from slavery, right? It is that is standing up by nature. It is standing up for everybody on the face of the planet, right? So as opposed to mainstream organizations who, oh, I want the best for my organization. I want my organization to come up on top. I want my school to look the best. Whether, and this applies to all schools across the board. This is no attack on any school, because everybody know. All the board schools does it. Government schools does it. Everything, right? Every school, primary school, secondary school, every school, rather than saying, hey child, what are you good at, and let me push you into that area. Everybody want their school to look good, right? Everybody want their school to look good, right? And this is how we go through and end up with a set of degree students. This is how we end up with a set of degree students without a job. Degreed students without a job, right? This is how we end up with degree students, scholarship students without a job. And secondly, scholarship students who are non-aligned with what they were truly called here to do. And that is why I left the entire mainstream education system, right? I left because at the end of the day, all it is a rigid control system. All it is a rigid control system, right? That is preparing you to go in a workplace where you are surrounded by, you are in a space where you know that you have the capacity to function in a much more higher functioning environment, right? You have the capacity to function in a much more higher functioning environment. And that's why the Ministry of Education probably just didn't hire me in the first place, right? Because they know that I will never be able to fit in. So thanks to the Ministry of Education in Trinidad and Tobago, right? You all actually did me a favor. You all did me a favor, so keep your application, right? At the end of the day, I am the free one. At the end of the day, I am going to be the free one.